So yesterday I was watching the San Antonio Spurs play against the Minnesota Timberwolves. I was going for the Spurs. Timberwolves ended up winning. But it's just something crazy that I heard from Anthony Edwards that I think can change your life if you understand what it will do for how you go about your life. Understanding the power of your mind. What he said after the game, because the main thing that's so big about this is that he came back from a knee injury that he should have been out for multiple weeks from, but he came back super fast. And it was amazing to see him play. But one of the things he said was he feels that 75% of the game is his mind. 75% of it is the mind. And if he can get his mind right, he'll be good. You know, whether he has an injury, whether he's just off, whatever it may be, if he can get his mind right, he's going to be good. That is something that applies not just to basketball, not just to athletes, anything like that, but to your life in God, your life in anything that you are doing. The reason I say that is because I recently read these books that talk about how our thoughts basically influence how our life is lived. It influences your state, it influences your actions and the circumstances / results that you get in your life, which basically means your beliefs that create your thoughts, your environment that creates your thoughts, and your focus that creates your thoughts all have an influence on how you end up feeling every single day and also how your life ends up in general. So this, if we can understand this, is going to be the key unlock for us getting control over our lives, feeling better, and actually doing more things out there in the world. So what I want you to think about is, like he said, it's 75% of the game / of your day is getting the mind right. And we realize that too with God. Think about the time when you have felt like you should be good, you got good sleep, you should be feeling all right, everything kind of seems okay, but you're just not mentally there. It's like you're not very excited about what you're doing, you're not feeling great, versus the time when you can be out of it completely. Like you are just freaking shot, you don't got no sleep, nothing's going right, you got a lot of problems going on, but your mind is right. You're like, God, I know I got you right here. And all of a sudden you have this energy, you have this passion that transcends your current circumstances because your thoughts are strong, your beliefs are strong, things are happening. That's what we want to get to in everyday life. What I want you to realize is that you can control that. And that is a powerful thing that I have also realized from these books, knowing, okay, we don't have to be at the whims of our environment, of our circumstances, anything like that. We can actually start to take control. Now, how do we do that? That is the beautiful part about this. So there's multiple ways that we can do that. But like he said in the book, there's three things that really influence our thoughts. Number one is our beliefs, number two is our environment, and number three is our focus. So these three things are really going to influence what we actually think on a day-to-day basis. If you have an environment where you are constantly being bombarded with bad stuff, you're going to think bad thoughts. If you have focus constantly on things above, on God, you're going to have good thoughts. If you're constantly focused, what's the last one? Environment, focus, and then beliefs. If you have good beliefs about God loves me, God is there for me, you're gonna have good thoughts. And those thoughts are going to turn into feelings. Those feelings is basically your state, how you're feeling on a day-to-day basis, whether it's good or bad. And then those feelings create actions, which basically your behaviors about going about life. If you feel good because you've been having good thoughts about God and life, all of a sudden the actions you're taking are going to be so much stronger. You're going to go out there and you're going to want to help people. You're going to have so much energy. You can want to do everything. And the results are basically what you have as a result from those actions, which is good stuff. You're going to actually have success, have that stuff. You're not going to even need it, but that's what it's going to be. So it's basically, if you can get the mind right, this is going to be like, if you don't get the mind right, it's like playing freaking basketball and all of a sudden you're playing like a 1v freaking 6. Like everybody else on the other team, everybody that's supposed to be on your team starts to play against you. They start setting screens against you. They start playing defense on you, double teaming you. It's just, if your mind is talking against you, if your mind is constantly fighting you to sit down, be lazy, it's so much harder to get up every single day and to try to do what we are trying to do. But if we can get our mind on the same plane as us, fighting for us, imagine how much stronger and how much more you will get done with so much less effort, because it's just going to feel like it's effortless. So the way that we can do this is basically just getting our environment right. If you can, for one, just place certain things in your environment. The environment can be very back and forth, but if you can place certain things in your environment, maybe you go to a certain place every morning, or you go to a certain place at night, and I love to go to the bathtub. Maybe you go on a walk and you get into the fresh air. That creates thoughts of like, oh, I'm in touch with nature, I'm in touch with just a nice warm water, and it kind of just gets you back into that nice feeling of like, okay, I can relax. That creates better thoughts and better feelings. and that helps, the chain go down the line. But also, you can change your beliefs. If you start to not understand what God really thinks about you, what he really wants for you, who God is, if you don't know that, you're not going to have good thoughts about that. But if you know, okay, there's a story in the Bible that talks about God loving people despite their weaknesses, and all we have to do is lean on him, and that his grace is sufficient for us. That belief, if you understand that verse and you hold it into your heart, all of a sudden that creates thoughts of, I don't need to be perfect. I can just relax. I can just be imperfect. That creates a better feeling of, I don't need to be perfect right now, which actually helps you feel better, and it gets you into a good state, which helps you do better actions even when you're not feeling good and not feeling perfect. And that creates results where if you can go out somewhere with somebody, you're not feeling perfect, but you don't need to be perfect. All of a sudden you're like, hey, I'm just gonna try to have fun with this person, and that creates better results. You're gonna have a good time even when you're not feeling freaking good. That also goes for your life. If you wake up, you don't got good sleep, you don't need to be perfect. God's grace is sufficient. That helps you actually get more done without having the perfect circumstance. So this is all just going to play into us being able to get into better states and to get more results in our life if we can get the mental side of it down. So remember, beliefs is the first one. You also have focus. If you can constantly think about God, just placing your focus on God on a day-to-day basis, that's going to create thoughts about God. That's why it says in the Bible, place your mind on things above. If you place your mind on things above, all of a sudden it creates thoughts that are better, which creates better feelings. And the more that you feel those thoughts and feelings, the more that you're going to have better actions leaning towards good things. And just in general, I think the most important thing there is you're going to feel better. You're going to feel like you're going to feel more in that positive, joyous, loving, peaceful state that we all want to be in. The more that we can fight for our mind and get our mind on our own side. So remember, beliefs, focus, and environment are going to create thoughts, which are going to create certain feelings, which are going to create certain actions / behaviors, which are going to create the results that you have in your life. And just like Anthony Edwards said, 75% to 80% pretty much of that is going to determine how your day goes, / if you're an athlete, how you perform out there on the court, / if you are whatever else you are doing in life, it's going to create the results that you're going to get in anything. So I hope you guys are able to take control today, start actually fighting back and getting control of your mind. Love you guys very much. Talk to you on the next video. Peace.